Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Friday's update for March 11, 2022. Time keeps moving forward, price keeps moving nowhere. It is a flip-flopping environment. Sideways markets are a portfolio destroyer. Sit on your hands, stay out of it. Eventually, they will resolve themselves. Please know that many assets move most of the time sideways. They really do, where the bulls and the bears slug it out. So let's have a look at the charts, because the charts tell us what we need to look at. I'm going to actually start here with the Bitcoin chart. This is one that's very simple. This is the blue box, and for all of the year, we've been stuck between 34,300 and 44,300. That captures 99% of the price action. This whole year, 3 months, okay? It happens, same as we had here between May and end of July. 3 months stuck between a rock and a hard place. Didn't go anywhere. Same here between December and end of March. Stuck between about 29,000 and 40,000. Eventually we broke out of it. It just shows you here again between August and November. Stuck here between a rock and a hard place. Stuck here. Look at this, stock here, all of 2021 almost. This captures most of the price action. We all think it just rallies and rallies. No, it doesn't. The most of the time we move sideways. November, December, and then eventually we get the breakout or the breakdown. Okay, that's what we wait for. Until then, what's the best guess? It's honestly very hard to know. I wish I had the answer. You can say, oh, this dumbass doesn't know anything. Well, it's stuck between these two price levels. What do you want me to tell? Okay. If you can't sit through 2 months of price action, you won't be able to sit through 2 years. All right. You won't be able to do nothing, because this is just the markets we're given, and this is the markets we have to deal with. For all I care and want is that we continue to rally just like we did here from March 2020 all the way into March 2021. Yeah, that'd be great. Everybody's a hero. In this market environment, nobody is a hero. This is whipsawing price action. It is back to the scene of the crime every single time. That's the unfortunate price action we deal with. So above 43,300 on Bitcoin, consistent, meaning 2 daily closes, because we haven't had 2 daily closes above it, will tell me that we're going to go to this bounce high. If not, we're going to drop below 34,300. We can target 24,000 based on simple symmetry. And the market will tell us what it will be. But please remember that for now, let's see here, if I can find the chart, the trend is lower. All right, third time is the charm. No, not so fast. Every single time it tries to break out, it gets hammered lower. That is definitely not a bullish setup. We again need to start closing above this 43,300 level. You can really see this ceiling nicely in the charts. This is for everybody to see. So if we can break above this level, I'm all on board with higher prices. Until then, the traffic light is full on red. The bulls need to prove themselves for Bitcoin. We have all the positive divergences in the world, but divergence is only divergence until it's not. So we are not going to hang our hat on it, as I've said many times before. It looks great, but so far no reaction. We'll know soon enough. First order, break above the cloud. Second order, break above 44,300. We break above 44,300, we can target a 200-day moving average and as high as 54,300, which is close to previous congestion zones. Excuse me. Timing-wise, how are we doing timing-wise? Timing-wise, it looks like we're moving towards a turn somewhere middle of this month. Okay, a couple more days. Just like we had close to a bottom here in February, close to a top here in March, maybe close to a bottom again in a couple of days. We'll see, but it looks like we're going towards a 15-day turning cycle. That was Bitcoin. Oh, not that one. Let's look at Avalanche. Oh, sorry, this is Cardano. Cardano first, just wanted to highlight continuously downtrend. All right, this is a continuous downtrend, relentless selling. Doesn't look great whatsoever. This is down, down, baby, down. So stay out of it. That's or short it, one of the two, right? Put your stops where you should. Previous day highs or whatever you want to do, simple moving averages. Use any of the tools that I present in my charts. You can use moving averages close above or below. won't work all the time, works most of the time. If it works most of the time, you're ahead of 90% of the people. How are we doing with Avalanche? Avalanche is still stuck in this triangle. And again, if we break below 70, we can target 45-ish. So this doesn't look too great yet because we're below all the moving averages. The traffic light is red. So let's put the traffic light here. So we're below the 10-day, we're below the 20, below the 50, below the 200-day, and below the cloud. Okay, well, that tells me that's not a too happy looking chart. Very simple. Please keep that in mind. Don't try bottom fishing. What you want to do is long uptrends, but don't go bottom fishing. Bottom fishing is trying to catch a falling knife. Here we are with Binance coin. Binance coin, same ordeal, still stuck between a rock and a hard place, 360 and about 435, somewhere around there, maybe 365, depends a little bit how accurate you want to be. Sideways for 2 months now, if not almost soon longer. Okay, again, above 430, we can target, what is it, 500. Below 365, we can target as low as 290. We're still in the exact same price action as compared to 2 days ago. 2 days ago looked great, another false breakout. Unbelievable. False breakout after breakout. I said it's typical for bear markets. And things are not looking too happy because the trend is still unfriendly, 100% red. I know I had a much happier news, but that's not what price tells me. So we just have to sit through it. And remember, nothing goes down forever, just like nothing goes up forever. I'll show you Ethereum for a moment, why one should not be too bearish on Ethereum compared to where we were in the summer of last year. This is then Bitcoin, already covered Bitcoin. Let's look at curve. Curve could still complete 5 waves lower. It might subdivide those 5 waves. Still eventually looking for a bounce. We have a lot of positive divergence setting up, as you can see, but price needs to react to it. Okay, price does need to react. If it doesn't react, then we'll simply have a setup that can be completely reset once again. So we have support here at 190. We break below 190, we can target 120. Ethereum. So this is the Ethereum chart. Traffic lights still full on red. Still no reaction so far on the positive divergence that has developed, I would say, over time. Indicators are really nicely resetting themselves, but that could also just simply reset so we can move lower once again. Trend is not friendly. We need to break above all these price levels. I would say probably, what is it, around 3,000 before we can turn slightly bullish on this one. Now, speaking of bullish versus bearish, remember, although it's of course quite the correction, so far we've corrected 55% since the all-time high. In June and July of last year, things corrected over 60%. Everybody was still very giddy back then. So why are we so bearish right now? We haven't even corrected the same amount, and it's taking longer. We're down 3 months now, 4 soon. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 months down. Whereas back here in May, June, July, it took only 2 months, and we fell 10% more almost. So nothing out of the ordinary yet has happened before and much faster. This is simply a slow grind lower into support between 1750 and 2250. Nothing out of the ordinary just yet. The MACD setup still warrants, I would say, this 3rd wave top, 4th wave dip, 5 wave rally. That would be ideal. Doesn't have to, but it still looks that way. I really would like to see that. That'd be picture perfect. So this is the monthly chart. So far, we've only had negative divergences, but not even a correction that we had in the summer of last year. So all things considered, ain't that bad. It was pretty bad. It is bad, but it ain't that bad as we've seen yet, right? Comparatively wise. Moving on to Maytag or Polygon. Also, this one is still not responding to the positive divergence. That's why I continue to say that divergence is only divergence till it's not. It must be noted, but we need to see follow through. Once we get the follow through, then the positive divergence or negative divergence is confirmed. And we have much more certainty that we can see, in this case, higher prices. Again, Maytag needs to go above the 200-day moving average, then above the cloud, and then above 2.1. But for now, I would say 175. That would be a very good level to get back above and that will turn the traffic light full on green. Until then, it's red, and red is stop. Bigger picture-wise, we might have completed for Luna wave 3 of 5 of 3 of 5, etc. Okay, starts to look divergently, something like, okay, we're reaching a third of a third wave top. Also, from a price perspective, Luna failed to hold the 125. I really would like to see the breakout and then move higher. We can still reach 125 if we consistently break above the previous all-time high at around 100. The traffic light is still red, but please be aware that we have now, and I'll show you, negative divergences develop on the technical indicators. There, here, money flow, okay? I learned yesterday that most of the Luna rally is because of venture capitalists putting a lot of money in it. The market couldn't care about the color of the money, where it comes from. Money is money, period. But single buyers or a few buyers cannot support the market at all times. We need everybody to step in. And small fish like private traders have too little capital and too little liquidity to move things. They just simply are following along. So again, we had the breakout. Just for a day, it failed. We need to see consistent breakouts. Just like we had here, you see the breakout, the retest, and then we can launch higher. That we didn't have to. Always wait for that type of setups. How are we doing for Solana? Solana is continuously moving lower as well. What I do find here is a possible wedge form developing. I can show you that on other ones as well. Wedges to the downside resolve themselves higher back to their origin, which would bring it back to about 120. Okay, so this looks wedge shaped. This is what we then call a ending diagonal. Just like you have wedges to the upside, they resolve themselves bearishly. This is a bullish wedge. So let's see if this transpires, especially with all this positive divergence that's going on. It's like at some point it's do or die time, my friend. Look, all this money pouring into Ethereum or Solana. That's quite quite a spectacle. And look what Solana has been doing. So people keep buying the lower prices. That's a good sign. The strength to the downside is reducing, so the weakness is becoming less. Just as we have sometimes negative divergence here, where the strength is becoming less, and eventually the market will capitulate because it's getting less and less strong. But as you can see, it can take a long time for such divergences to kick in. So here as well, we might have to simply bide our time and be patient. But eventually it should respond. I really like the fact that we have this money flowing back in. We did have it here from January to February, but so far so good. Let's see if this wedge develops. Still plenty of hurdles to take, the 10, the 20, the 50, all of those good things. So again, the downtrend remains down, and there's no signs of reversing yet. So this is then the shorter term view. We can still easily drop lower. We can easily reach 40 with support now at, of course, still 79 and below that 65. So it's just petering here on this, what I would call bearish triangle, which on a symmetry basis targets 40s. It's very possible. Let's move on to Ripple. Ripple is still failing here at this green trend line. It needs to break this trend line that connects to previous highs, and it's not doing it. We continue to see these false breakouts as I showed you for the other ones. If we can break higher, hold this trend line, yes, then we can start seeing a rally develop. We have all these divergences going on, but also here, no response. In summary, Avalanche must go above 90 for more upside, okay? And below 70 opens the door to 50.45. We got above 90, but the breakout didn't hold. Sorry, that was for Luna. Must we go 90? For now, the traffic light is red, and below 70 opens the door 50.45. Okay, please know where the traffic light is. The traffic light is red, so downside is more likely. Binance coin has been going sideways between 365, 430 for most of this year. Okay, it's boring, but it is what it is. There's not much money to be made for now, but remember, markets will not stay sideways for long. The breakout targets 500, the breakdown targets, I believe, around 290. The current trend is weak because the traffic light is red, same for Avalanche. So lower is preferred, okay, until I see this traffic light change. The Elliott wave count in sideways price action can give us both options. On Wednesday, I showed you the bullish options for Bitcoin and Ethereum. I can also make a bearish case, but we simply have the breakdown and breakout levels to watch for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, if we break down, we can reach 24,000. We break out, we can reach 54,000. But in bear markets, breakouts are often fake outs. So please be aware. What is a breakout? I want to see at least 2 daily closes above 44,300. Same for a breakdown. We want to see it consistently lower. Okay, not just a intraday spike. Ethereum also here that still in the downtrend, so we have to prefer lower prices. It must clear 3,200 and especially 3,300 to be able to rally to 4,000. If it fails at 2,300, then 1,700 is next. It's still very good support level, as I showed you for the longer term. And remember, last year we had a 61.5% correction, and now it's only 65%. It's kind of the same. It's less, but everybody is bearish. Everybody's more bearish than last year. So it's quite an interesting development. And remember, markets are always right and opinions are always wrong. So maybe sentiment is turning too bearish. Let's have a look. We have that bullish wedge developing. It's pointing down, so it points towards lower prices, but when it resolves itself, it should move to higher prices quite quickly. So again, Luna is the only bull in town, thanks to a venture capitalist money I learned, but it might have topped for -3. So please be aware of that. The breakout didn't hold. We need to see a breakout, test that breakout as support, and then move higher. So far, it was just kind of what I would call a fake out. Maytag also weak. Again, likely in primary 4, can target around $1 to 80 cents in this sloppy overlapping fashion. Lots of positive divergence going on, but still no reaction. So again, don't hang your hat on positive divergence. React, don't anticipate, okay? Just wait for that divergence to finally kick in. Don't anticipate, oh, it must go higher. No, it has no law or rule to say because of positive divergence, it must move higher. You gotta see it happen, then one can jump in. And please remember, bear markets, we can have lots of fake outs, trade smaller, shorter time frames, tighter stops, all those things. Take profits quickly. Solana continues to be weak because it's making lower highs and lower lows, and a break below 80 targets 40. Also, that one has a traffic light that is full on red, so cannot be too happy about it just yet. So unfortunately, I don't have too much new to add. Things are back to what I call scene of the crime. We get these rallies and then drops and then rallies and drops, which is typical correction behavior. In bull markets, the rallies will hold. In bear markets, the rallies fail. And we pretty much go back to what I call the scene of the crime, where we just came from, and make a lower low. So watch those breakout levels, breakdown levels. Eventually, with all this money pouring in, I'm quite amazed to see that we haven't made much progress yet. But eventually that money will find its way. So we just have to bide our time and let this correction do its thing. And meanwhile, be patient, don't get too anxious, wait for the sideways price action to resolve itself. Then we can start a new trend, hopefully to the upside. It's just very difficult to know when things are going sideways, which way it's going to break or break down. We'll know the price levels, they're clearly marked on the charts to watch, where we can say, okay, now we have a new uptrend. And until then, please remember the traffic lights are all red. So those are very helpful, in my humble opinion, for knowing what the expectation should be for price over the next few days. If it's red, the expectation should be lower prices. If it reverses and gets green, then we should expect higher prices. So I think it's a very easy, convenient tool that we can have to our disposal to know what is most likely next. With that, thank you so much for listening. Take care, trade safe, as always. And if you have questions, never hesitate to ask me. I'm here to help. And I'll see you all on Monday. Thank you. Bye.